Hey everybody, it's Shun. Today on the ShuuunCast, I'm going to be talking about games as a franchise and the games that I recommend you start with in said franchises. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first series I want to talk about is the Tales of series. I'd recently just watched a video right before recording this that actually made me want to make this video. The YouTuber in question is Zoffrey Revolution. He made a video called "Choosing Your First Tales Game," and I watched it, and I agree with most of the points that he brings up when it comes to this series. Um, but there are some things I disagree with, and there are some things that I have overall a different choice for the game I recommend you play first. Just so if you are planning on getting into the Tales of series, the one I recommend first is probably. I mean, it honestly depends on the system you have. So for this scenario, we're going to say you have every system available, and money is no issue, and you can afford any of the games, which is probably not a likely realistic scenario, but hell, we're role playing here. So when it comes to the Tales series, the one I recommend first is probably Grace's, simply because I feel like that is the easiest Tales game. Um, he said that Exilia was the easiest, I believe. I believe he said Exilia is the easiest for him. Um, I also agree that Exilia is easy, but I don't think I had as much difficulty, or I didn't find Exilia as easy as Grace's. Honestly, Grace's changed its combat system from the previous game being Vesperia, aka my favorite. Um, if you've seen my top 10 favorite games of all time list, which I will put a link in the. I'll make an annotation or something. So when it comes to like the Tales games, honestly, yeah, I recommend Grace's F on the PS3 first. Then I would recommend you go and play Exilia. Then honestly, I would recommend Zestiria because that game is pretty easy and the cast is phenomenal. He said the music's great. I don't really pay attention to that. That's not my type of. It's not my type of thing. I've never really been a music head, like pay attention a lot to the music of a game. But Zestiria is great to me, at least. I know a lot of people don't like it. I do not like Berseria. I'm just gonna say that now. The newest game, Tales of Berseria, I did play it on the channel, and it is actually my most popular video. I'm not a huge fan of that one, honestly. I wouldn't say that's my least favorite, but it's definitely pretty low on my list. Simply just because I don't really care much for the cast, and I don't really care much for just a lot of stuff in the game in general. But now that I've pretty much lost half of my viewers, let's go on to a different series, Kingdom Hearts. I feel like talking about Kingdom Hearts because, well, I love the series. I actually did a Let's Play of it, of the first one, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out next year. So when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, the one I recommend first is, of course, Kingdom Hearts 1. Simple as that. Uh, but actually, I don't know about that. Because Kingdom Hearts 1 is very, very, very. You definitely need to play Kingdom Hearts 1 before you play Kingdom Hearts 2. The reason being, but at the same time, I don't think that you should play Birth by Sleep before or after you play Kingdom Hearts 2. Simply because once you played Kingdom Hearts 2, if you're anything like me, you will never want to play any other Kingdom Hearts game. Simply because Kingdom Hearts 2 is perfection. I'm going to say that right now. Kingdom Hearts 2 is perfect in every way when it comes to that combat. I think that honestly is the best a action RPG has ever gotten for me, is Kingdom Hearts 2. Honestly, it's just it's a matter of preference. Honestly, I would say that you should probably play Birth by Sleep, and then maybe I'd say Birth by Sleep probably first, just so you know how that combat plays. Then go to 1. Then if you feel like dabbling into the side stuff, maybe play read Chain of Memories if you want. If not, just look up a walkthrough or look up a Let's Play or watch like the story of it, or someone explain the story, because it is important to the story, but I don't think that I would recommend that kind of gameplay. It's just kind of not fun. Then I would say 2, definitely, and then Dream Drop. Because Dream Drop Distance is good, but I'd recommend taking some time after finishing 2, if you're wanting to play these games before 3 comes out. The next game series I'm going to talk about is Animal Crossing. Honestly, there's no wrong choice when it comes to Animal Crossing. You can play it in any order you want. The one I recommend you play more than any of the other ones would be New Leaf. If you're looking to get into Animal Crossing, New Leaf is definitely the best. It's the newest, it's the best. Simple as that. I don't really recommend the GameCube version, especially nowadays because of how clunky it is compared to like any of the other ones, any of the sequels. I didn't play Wild World, so I have no idea how the DS one works. I heard it's not great. Definitely stick to that one. The next series I'm going to talk about is Pokemon. Now nowadays, a lot of people would probably tell you, "Oh, start with Red and Blue." Personally, I would say skip Red and Blue. Go to the remakes. Honestly, a lot of people would probably are not a fan of the idea of playing the remakes rather than not playing playing the originals. A lot of people would probably recommend you play the originals rather than the remakes. But me personally, I think that the remakes are just better overall to me. But that's me. I would say play Fire Red, Leaf Green. Then I'd say play Heart Gold or Soul Silver. Then the next one is going to be complicated, because either I can recommend you Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, or I can recommend to you the original Ruby and Sapphire. See, the thing is with this is where the series gets complicated, because if I recommend the originals, you're going back to the Game Boy, which is not a bad thing, but at the same time, you're just coming off of you played a Game Boy Advance game, then go to the DS game that I recommended second, and then you'd be going back to Game Boy, and that might be a little jarring for you to jump back and forth between the things. But at the same time, the Game Boy Advance at that point was good, and it's similar to the DS, so I don't think it'll be that jarring. But if I probably wouldn't recommend the 3DS game, being Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire as your next play or as your first game for Gen 3, because if you're playing Gen 3, definitely play Emerald. Emerald's definitely the best for Gen 3. It gives you the best of both games just in one. Then I would definitely recommend Platinum. Platinum is my favorite Pokemon game. Or it's my favorite Pokemon game, but it's not the best. Honestly, Gen 2, aka Ruby and Sapphire, or Gen 4's Ruby and Sapphire, not Gen 4 or Ruby and Sapphire. I mean, Gen 4's Heart Gold and Soul Silver are the best Pokemon games just in general. I think that they are just the best overall. Being able to explore, I mean, Kanto and Johto being able to go back to Kanto is just phenomenal. Like that's a master class of idea. Like that idea was amazing. And I know a lot of people clamor for that. Why haven't they just done a Pokemon game with all the generations or all the regions? Well, because they did that with one game. Now everyone wants that. And the thing is with that, the reason they did that, at least from what they stated, is because they didn't expect to make any more Pokemon games. Gen 2 was going to be the last one, so they just put Gen 1 and Gen 2 in the same game. Just kind of as a thank you. But then Pokemon became a cultural phenomenon, or they thought, or Pokemon was already a cultural phenomenon, and they thought it was just going to die out or something. But then they made, Ruby Sapphire, Diamond Pearl, Black White 2, XY, fucking Sun and Moon, Omega, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, Omega Ruby, Ultra Sapphire. They made so much. Platinum I definitely recommend. I don't recommend you play Diamond or Pearl. Platinum is way better. The story is way better. The extra content, miles better. Then when it comes to Black and White, there's no other option besides just playing Black and White. But I definitely prefer Black and White 2 over Black and White. I initially didn't like Black and White 2, and that was actually my least favorite Pokemon game for like a long time, but after recently replaying it, I definitely think that Black and White 2 is better. But I still think that you need to play Black and White 1 to appreciate Black and White 2. Uh, as much as I don't like Black and White 1, and that one has taken the place of Black and White 2, uh, it's very similar to Kanto. So if you have that nostalgia for... If you are a fan that originally played, Red and Blue or Yellow, and then just kind of dropped off and you're looking to try to get back into the games, I would definitely recommend Black and White, because Black and White is very Kanto-esque. It seems very similar to me. And that's probably why I don't like it, because I was never a huge fan of Kanto because of just how much I played Kanto. Then we get into... after Black and White, we get to Black and White 2. You can't play, you have to play them on the DS. There's no other really options. They haven't been remade. Then, after you finish Black and White 2, then you get to X and Y, which some people would tell you to just flat out skip. I'm not one of those people. I love X and Y. I think it's great. I actually think it's one of my favorite generations. Gen 6, great. Definitely recommend you play one of the... I definitely recommend X over Y because of... One, Charizard is amazing in X. Mega Charizard X, fantastic. Then we get to my most difficult generation. The generation I don't like the most, or I think that I have the most issues with, and that's Sun and Moon. Would I recommend you play Sun, Moon, or Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon? I definitely recommend Ultra, because Ultra is the same game for the most part, just extra content. You're really not missing out anything if you were to just skip Sun and Moon and went straight to Ultra. I say that as I look over and see I do own a Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon poster, which I got from pre-ordering the game. But at the same time, I genuinely don't like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. I don't think that the Sun and Moon games in general are that fun. But just for this, this list, of course, play the games in order. But honestly, play the remakes because they are fantastic, and the remakes are where I definitely recommend you go. Except Gen 3, because Gen 3 would be daunting, especially if you're someone like me. Because me personally, I can't go back to... I have a hard time going back to the original games, like Gen 1, Gen 2, pretty much any of the DS games nowadays. Just because I've been so spoiled with the 3DS games. It's hard to go back to the DS games and think, yeah, I can sit here and play through this. I'm spoiled with X and Y and Ultra Sun and Omega. I just want to play those, the 3D looking ones. And then with Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee coming out, I definitely wouldn't recommend that as a starting point for someone who is looking to play all of them. If you're just looking to play one, I haven't even played it yet because it's not out by the time I'm making this video. But I definitely think that will be the best place to start if you are coming from Pokemon Go and you did not play any other Pokemon games. I'm going to say that right now, that I think that will probably be your best start. The next series I wanted to go over is Metal Gear, because I personally have a weird history with Metal Gear. I started by playing 1. I played 1, and then I went straight to 4. Or I started with 4, went back to 1, went to 2, didn't play 2 much, went to 3, didn't play 3 much, and it's just a big jumbled mess. Honestly, I would recommend that you play the first one first, of course. Well, that's no surprise. But honestly, I think that you could play them in... I don't think you need to play 2 or 3, honestly, because I don't really care too much for 3, as much as that's probably going to piss people off. 4 is where I definitely think that the series peaks. I think the series is perfect, and it's just a masterpiece at 4. 4 is just one of the best games ever. It's definitely something I highly recommend, and you go and check that out. Then 5, if you want to play it, I just think that you should play 1, maybe 3, 4, and then 5. I know that's probably going to be a little bit confusing to some people, but that's just me personally giving you where I think you should play, which ones you should play. Then we get to Persona. Now this one's going to be a bit more jarring. So with Persona, I recommend you start with 3. 3 or 4. I think you should definitely look at both of them and determine which one you think looks best and looks more interesting to you. Because when 3 and 4, you have completely different series. It's completely different from each other. You have one that is a murder mystery type, crime solving thing with 4, and then with 3, it's more of just you have to discover what's going on with this mysterious midnight thing. Both involve something with midnight. One is the dark hour or whatever it's called, and the other one's the midnight channel. It's confusing as shit. Like, we have two and then 5 doesn't even bother with midnight. They're just like, yeah, we got another dimension. But definitely I recommend you play 3 or 4 first. I do not recommend you play 5 first. Do not play Persona 5 first. Persona 5 is the pinnacle of its of the gameplay, and if you play that one first, you will be spoiled. I definitely recommend you play 3 first, because 3 is the weakest when it comes to combat-wise. You don't have as much control and freedom. If I had to recommend 3, I'd recommend 3 FES. I know some people would recommend Portable, but I'm not a fan of Portable. I think 3 FES, best one. Then I would recommend 4 Golden, because that is the best version of 4. Then 5, of course. The first 2, if after you've finished all of them, if you are interested in going back to the first 2, then check out the first 2. I have not yet, because I have not been interested in playing the first 2. Then we get to the big, scary thing that is Final Fantasy. If I had to recommend a starting point for Final Fantasy, out of its massive... sorry about this. Oh, a little tired. Out of this massive behemoth of a franchise, I would definitely recommend you start with the one that I like the most. I'm going to recommend the one I like the most as what you should start with, and that is Final Fantasy IX. I definitely think Final Fantasy IX is a good starting point if you're looking for more of the turn-based style. Then I would probably recommend, I don't know, maybe 10 after 9. Maybe go 9, then 10. And I'm going to say something, and it's probably going to bother people. This is just a very controversial, opinion episode. I definitely recommend you try 13. I'm going to say that now. I think you should try 13. And don't, fall for all the, it's just endless fucking hallways. It's not that bad. I put 57 hours into fucking Final Fantasy 13. It is a good game. It is a very fun game. I think it's fun. I like the combat a lot. That's why I'm in 13 too. Honestly, 15 is very weird for me when it comes to Final Fantasy. I don't know how I feel about 15 anymore. Initially, I loved it. I really did. Initially, I was a big fan of it, and I thought, yeah, this game's gonna be good. And then I played it. I kind of was okay with it. I wasn't a massive fan of 15 when it came out, but overall, I think nowadays, maybe give it a shot. I don't know. I don't know. It's up to you guys, honestly, whether or not you play 15 or not. That was honestly if I'm going to be 100% honest, that was actually that was the one that I finished first. I played 15 and finished that one first. Then I played, which one? What did I play after 15? God, I can't remember off the top of my head, but definitely play that. or maybe play 15. I don't know. Next up, we're going to go into another series, Disgaea. So Disgaea is a... I've never really talked about Disgaea before on the channel, because, well, I never really felt like talking about it. So Disgaea is very interesting for me, considering that I've only played a small... I've tried all of them, or all the mainline ones. I have not finished any of them. So really, taking my opinion into account would be just kind of taking the opinion of someone who's just started playing them. I think that you should start with the first one. And this is because I made a mistake. I started with Disgaea 5. I got used to the nice, pretty nice graphics. So, yeah, I made a bit of a mistake. If you're looking for Disgaea 5, or Disgaea in general, I recommend the PC port. The PC port's really, really good. Disgaea PC is great. They have Disgaea 2 on there. Or if you really want to, and if you don't feel like playing it on PC, wait, because at the end of the year, we have Disgaea 1 getting a remake? I don't know. It's called Disgaea 1. And it's coming to the PS4 and the Switch. I will probably be picking it up to give it a shot, because why not? Then we get to another series, which I recently finished playing, and that is the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. If you are a fan of Naruto, you maybe you want to play the games because the games cover most of the story. Maybe you're interested in that. So let's talk about that. I sound like I'm in fucking Good Mythical Morning. Let's talk about that. No, so when it comes to Ultimate Ninja Storm games, I don't know how I feel about Ultimate Ninja Storm 1. The first Ultimate Ninja Storm game is very weird. It feels very much like the Ultimate Ninja games in 3D with just like the skeleton of the Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I personally didn't start with that one. I started with 2. Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 was where I started. And from replaying them, I have to say, I don't like most of the Ultimate Ninja games. Or Ultimate Ninja Storm games. I'm going to be 100% honest. If you are going to play them in the order they came out. Seriously, I know it's weird. It's probably like, duh, you should probably play them in the order they came out. But seriously, if you play Storm 1, that's your first one, and then go to Storm 2, you're going to realize, okay, this is a big jump and this is a big difference. But at the same time, if you play Storm 4 first, or if you play Storm 4 at all before you play any of the other Storms, you are going to be pretty much spoiled. Because Storm 3 and Storm 4 are the only ones that I think I can genuinely say that I enjoyed myself when I played them. I had fun playing Storm 2, but there's a but for this one. I didn't enjoy it as much as I used to. It's simply because the combat is so annoying to me. But I definitely recommend you play them. Anyway, if you are a fan of Naruto, I play Storm 1 first, then 2, then 3, then 4. Don't play any of them out of order. Maybe if you don't like one, it's fine to skip one. Like, honestly, if you want to, skip one. If you try it and you're like, damn, I don't like the way this game's set up, I don't like this whole setup, which I didn't like it at first, but I just played it because I just wanted to play it. I definitely think that, you play Storm 1. If you don't like it, go to Storm 2. Storm 2 is great. And yeah, that will be the end of this episode of the ShuuunCast. I know this one's a rather short one, but there is going to be this is where I'm going to update you guys on what's going on with the channel. So if you have noticed, I'm sure you have, I haven't uploaded much. And it's simply because I've been going through a lot in life lately. This last few weeks have been pretty chaotic in my life. But everything should be getting back to normal. I did make a Scott the Woz YouTube review. I do not plan to release it. It honestly just not a whole lot to talk about there. But overall, with that being said, that's all for this video. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. Let me know what games you're interested in and what game franchises you love. And let me know in the comments, what game series do you think that has a hard time, like, for someone new to get into? Do you agree with what I've said? Do you agree that people should get into the games that I've recommended? Or maybe you have a disagreement. Maybe you think that Tales of I don't know, fucking Tales of Legendia is where you should fucking start. I don't know. Maybe Tales of Symphonia. I mean, I like Symphonia, but no, I don't want to get into that shit. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Share it with your friends, because the channel is coming back slowly but surely. I don't plan to just stop making YouTube reviews. I just kind of have been busy lately. The Scott the Woz one, as I said, I made it. I didn't like it. I just kind of... There's not much to talk about with Scott. I do have one for next one. The next game, or next review, is on Expert Games, which was recommended to me by Beastie, so plan to see that one probably early next week. Probably Tuesday. I'm shooting for Tuesday. Also, Overwatch. I've been recording a lot of Overwatch because we're going to do a massive video. It's going to just be a supercut of me going through placements with Agent, since Definitionist is not at home anymore, or he doesn't have his Xbox with him. So, with that all being said, thank you guys so much for watching. As I've said a million times at this point already in this video, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, share, and I'll see you guys next time.